Less than a year after the COVID-19 pandemic erupted in the U.S., the first doses of a vaccine were delivered to various states throughout the country. Our guest today was the first person in New York and among the first in the country to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. Joining us now via Skype is ICU nurse at Long Island Jewish Medical Center, Sandra Lindsey. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
We are so excited to have you. The spotlight has been on you. You handled it with such grace and bravery. Please tell us, what was it like to receive the COVID-19 vaccine knowing that the world was watching you?
I felt a huge sense of relief and just hope for everyone around the world, for all healthcare workers, that finally help has arrived. I know that we still have a long way to go, but it was a significant step in the right direction to put an end to this pandemic.
So tell us, are you experiencing any side effects or any symptoms since you got vaccinated?
No side effects, no fever, minimal soreness at the site. On a scale of 1 to 10, that would be a 1, if 10 is the worst. And my temperature this morning was 98.1. No aches, no pain, nothing. I feel great.
Wow, we are so happy to hear that. Now, we know that in the Black community, especially, people have been concerned when it comes to the vaccine. There's been so many concerns when it comes to whether or not it's good for the Black community. Can you tell us, what's your perspective on that?
It is good for the Black community. I have seen too many minorities die from this virus. And so I know the history, and I know that there is mistrust because of past events, and I do understand that. But consider the alternative. The alternative is suffering, it's death, it's painful, and that's part of why I wanted to just do these. Use my platform in the media to just appeal to people of color, minorities, Hispanic, Latinos, to say that we are being affected disproportionately, and you should follow the science, take all the preventative precautions. COVID-19 is real, it's not a hoax, and so I encourage you, please, to take the vaccine.
Now, you're, of course, in the healthcare profession, and we thank you for all you've done on the front lines as a healthcare worker. But for those people who aren't really familiar with how viruses and vaccinations work and that sort of thing, can you walk them through the steps of why they should take this? Because I think people are concerned that even if you take it today or tomorrow, what's going to happen to you in 6 months or a year or 2 years? Because we always seem to hear sometimes that down the road people have side effects later on. Can you help us understand why you still feel so confident?
So one of the things that we don't know how it will affect us 6 months from now, and the experts have been transparent in saying that, but we do know what could happen 6 hours from now, 6 days from now, if we contract COVID-19. So that we do know, and that could end up in potentially death. And as I said before, suffering. Some people are still having long-haul symptoms, and just not just physical effects from getting COVID, but mentally as well. So I do understand their concern in that regard, but I trust the science, and that's what guides my decisions, and that's what I would listen to moving forward.
Do you know what was in the vaccine that you took, and which brand, which company was it from?
I took the Pfizer vaccine.
And do you have any idea what was in it? We know that vaccines usually have a strain of whatever the virus is, but we're told this COVID-19 vaccine isn't quite developed like that. were you able to find out exactly what was in it or have any better understanding of what it's doing to your body?
I didn't find out exactly what was in it, but how vaccines work, they enter your body through the injection, of course, and your immune system interacts trying to decode and figure out, just how to interact with this vaccine. And the experts have said that's how come you may feel just tiredness, muscle aches and pain, and you may get fever or headaches as your body tries to decode what just happened. But I haven't had it. You may get it. It didn't say that you definitely will. I haven't had any side effects from the vaccine. I take the influenza vaccine every year, and I don't have reactions to the vaccine. So I'm very comfortable and stand by my decision and happy that I took the jab.
Well, that's very exciting to hear. So what about people who want to get a better perspective on the effects in the Black community? We talked about that a little bit, but once again, I just want to make sure that people really get that message, because that seems to be the issue, is that the Black community does not trust it. But you said you feel that Black people really should be getting this vaccine, and you feel confident that the science is there.
So speak to your healthcare provider, speak to people who have been working in your communities with COVID patients so you can hear from them firsthand what they have been seeing. Speak to multiple people. I want people to be educated consumers of this vaccine. So in addition to me, listen to all the experts that have been coming on, Dr. Fauci, Dr. Sanjay Gupta, just to name a few. And if you have relatives, etc., in healthcare, speak to them as well and be informed. But make sure you're informed before you just say, no, I will not take a vaccine.
And so you want people to also understand that getting this is not something that's going to disrupt their life. I'm assuming that you just continued on and went to work. You didn't have to miss any days or anything. Like, what was the process like for you? I mean, it just happened yesterday. I don't know if you're back to work or not. Can you tell us a little bit about your situation?
Besides coming in and doing these interviews, I am back to work. I did not take any time off. It was back to my normal routine, and I will continue with that.
So no disruptive areas in your life? You didn't feel like you needed to take a rest or anything like that? I just want to make absolutely sure that people understand, because like I said, this is so historical that somebody has taken this vaccine. So forgive me for asking for these details, but once again, I'm sure you realize the historic nature of what you've done.
And I appreciate you asking, because I think that it's my duty to be transparent with the public and share with them what I am feeling. And that's why I wanted to take my temperature, to just not say I'm feeling great, but to give some objective information. So no disruption in my normal life. I am back to work. As I said before, just mild soreness at the site. If anyone in the Black community, you know what it's like if you take the influenza vaccine, just mild soreness. It feels like you got a pinch there, but otherwise, nothing. I had expected at least, a slight temperature or so, but nothing.
Now, will you have to get a second follow-up shot?
So in approximately 21 days, I will get the second vaccine.
And is it exactly like the first one?
I believe it's exactly like the first one, yes.
Okay, and it's the same process. You expect to just go to work, do your normal chores. There's no extra procedures or anything that you're aware of?
No extra procedures, and as long as I'm feeling well, I will be continuing with my normal routine.
What about the people you work with? How do they feel about this?
They're so inspired. I've gotten so many messages and texts from people back home where I'm from, originally in Jamaica. Folks here, all my colleagues here, saying how inspired they are and that they will be taking the vaccine.
Okay. Well, we will certainly address the fact that you're from Jamaica. What's it like in the Caribbean island? They all know that you've taken it. Are they all anxiously awaiting the vaccine there as well?
So they are anxiously awaiting the vaccine, and I just can't wait for everyone to have the same opportunity that I had yesterday in receiving this vaccine.
All right. Well, we appreciate your time. We're so excited to have you joining us. We appreciate what you've done for this community, for the world, and thank you so much for joining us here to let everybody know how this vaccine is so important. We appreciate your time here.
Thank you for having me.
Take care. Well, still ahead on BNC Now, a little too late if you're thinking about ordering those final gifts for the holidays. Find out why they might not make it on time. That and more when BNC Now continues. Stay with us.